So I just want to go over my last episode about overthinking, and I want to be honest. As soon as I published that video, um, I know there are some people who watched it who gave good feedback, and I want to say thank you for supporting me. And I'm making this in my room. I already went on my walk, and I decided that this podcast should be done when I'm in the comfortability of my own house, in my own room, and not walking because I just breathe too much. But yeah, overthinking. Let's go over it. You can analyze your problems, but maybe the solution is just something you need to do, or something you haven't done yet, something that you're currently doing that you shouldn't be doing, something you're consuming or not processing in the right way. And the solution for me for overthinking was basically how comfortable I was feeling in my environment, which had to do for a couple of reasons, but I'll just name one. This supplement called taurine, which I was taking for, I guess, more confidence in myself. I thought it would help me with my panic attacks, with anxiety, but to be honest, it just stimulated my nervous system to no end, and it never allowed me to fully breathe into who I was or even where I was at. Whenever I tried to rest, it just felt like I was alert, waiting for something. I was always waiting for a moment of glory, a moment of truth. And so I would be addicted to scrolling on social media, waiting for that wisdom that I thought I needed. But really, it was just something deeper inside of me, which was the hypervigilance that I once had as a kid and the trauma that followed through with it. It was unraveled because I was doing nothing. I couldn't do anything. I was paralyzed from constantly doing, for constantly being on the go. I got paralyzed in my body. And I think a lot of people go through this, especially like people with ADHD and autism. Maybe you go through it and you haven't been fully aware of it yet. But this comes to show that, maybe we didn't get the right healing when we were younger. And so we latch on to that feeling of always being on the go, always ready for what's ahead of us, always preparing for something to come, so that we're never actually patient because we're always trying to grab at something. And no matter how hard we reach for it, no matter how much we want to earn that future of ours that we want so badly, I think the next step is actually to let go of what isn't serving us. Sure, you can have like healthy habits along the way. You could make it a little bit easier on yourself by sleeping in, not paying attention to your alarm, just taking that alarm off, and not having a routine, or when you have a thought and and you're going down a rabbit hole, maybe you stop yourself from going down that rabbit hole. But when you're left with nothing, but you still feel that urge to figure something out, to overthink in the empty spaces in between, that's when we really need to pay attention to what our body is saying. And my body for the longest time was telling me that I don't need anything. I don't need any supplements. I don't need any alcohol. I don't need anything. I could just be. And when you cut out that one source of stimulation, whether it be social media or coffee or, excessive people pleasing tendencies or whatever stimulation you get from the world, all the other sources of stimulation sort of dissolve with it. Like we have, in America, we kind of have this all or nothing thinking where it sort of benefits us in the short term, but it ruins us in the long term. And I think if we were just to move with grace, more grace for ourselves, and allow ourselves to just be authentically ourselves, then we would realize that it's not actually hindering us, but it's actually God who is forming us to be more content with what we already have. And that's the deepest truth that we have today, is that we already have everything we need. That desire for more, it comes from culture, it comes from social media, and what people say you should be taking on your daily regimen, or people telling you need 10K steps a day. Like, all that is making you want more. But what if you told yourself you're already perfect the way you are, and you should stop with the binge watching and have more balance in your life, actually? What if we had more balance in our lives, and whenever something came up, like a stressor or a trigger, emotionally, you can cope with any way that you find yourself responsible in the end. But I think our main goal is to just survive and to get through it. And once we survive, we can look back and say, okay, this is what worked and this is what didn't work. And then instead of beating yourself up for wasting your time, which I do, I beat myself up for wasting time a lot, but in the end, we're not actually wasting time. We're just establishing stability in ourselves. And I think if we look deeper into how we were created, we would see that there's something bigger than ourselves to look forward to at the end of all this life. And if we decide to put other people first, not in the general sense where you're saying like, always be thinking about other people, but when you have good moral standards and values for others, maybe you will start to see that you should be taking care of your own habits and your own needs so that you can sustain a healthy lifestyle. And I think there's some deeper wisdom in that, but I haven't really found it yet. I'm trying to find the wisdom that if I actually wanted to start weightlifting and having a healthier body and eating more nutrient-dense foods, things like that, like how would that sort of make my lifestyle a lot better? And I can't really find it. I mean, everyone who wants to achieve a physique of a Greek god or a goddess or this or that, it's all kind of like, yeah, sure, being healthy is cool, but, to eat whatever you want or at any time, in a more moderate way. I think moderation is really the key we're looking for here. And I think me overanalyzing what this should mean for me means that it'll take more time to get there. But in the end, it will have deeper meaning because I went through the process and I survived it. But yeah, thank you for listening and happy 4th.